So when you first looked at buying a business, what were the major benefits you were seeking?
What I was looking for was a work-life balance, to be honest. I was in a job that was a fair distance from home, so I was travelling sometimes up to 3 hours a day, which meant that I was not spending as much time doing other important things in my life and spending time with my family, which is also really important to me as well.
So what attracted you to this business?
What I wanted to do, I have a background in communications, and I was moving more and more into the digital space, in particular social media, and in my personal capacity I became a little bit obsessed. I was on Facebook every day and Twitter every day and saw the funny side of it and was using it myself. I actually came across social media business boosters in a Google search. A friend of mine was looking to purchase a franchise in another industry, and I thought, oh, I wonder if there's something similar. Came across it and I thought, I can make some money for something that I do anyway. I thought, what an opportunity, I'll look into it.
So how are you doing 6 months down the track, and how many clients have you now got on board?
In terms of ongoing clients, the mix of my work at the moment is actually quite diverse, which is what I really, really like. In the time that I've been doing this, I've done some short-term consultancy work, so things like writing social media plans, doing assessments of current social media platforms, making sure that they're operating properly and giving them suggested ways of moving forward and improving the performance of them. I also do ongoing management with a few clients as well.
What's the likelihood of earning a good income providing social media marketing services?
I think to answer this particular question, I think that if you are willing to put in the work it takes to understand social media, and not just how to use it, like not just the actual mechanics of the platform, because anyone can learn that, but also to creatively think about how those platforms can be used and tailored to individual businesses. I think if you put in the time to understand that, then I think there is a capacity to earn a great income, but there has to be a lot of work that's also put into that, just to make sure that your knowledge is up to scratch, that what you're advising clients to do is correct, and making sure that you're on top of any new information that comes out.
Is there a hungry demand out there for social media marketing?
Absolutely. The people that I come across in terms of the leads that come my way come into two predominant categories. Firstly, it's I don't understand Facebook, I don't want to understand Facebook, can you just do it for me? Or the other category is, look, I understand it, but I actually want to spend time on my own business and I'd like to outsource this particular service. Is this something that you can help with?
How do you get new clients?
Where my clients have come thus far is through word of mouth. I have a number of different networks, personally and professionally, and also I've been doing a lot of networking, so I've really thrown myself out there in terms of networking with other businesses, building relationships and getting myself known.
Did you look at other business opportunities, and if so, why did you choose this one?
I have to say I did think about actually freelancing and starting my own business from scratch. I thought I did want to move into this space, but the reason why I went with a franchise network like Social Media Business Boosters was because I didn't actually have, I'm not from a business background. This is the first business that I've owned, and so whilst I have worked in this field and understand social media and understand social media marketing and have those skills, what I wanted to get the backing of was understanding the business, knowing how to price my services and knowing how to package services. So it was that I really needed the support with.
What 3 best tips can you give to those new to this business in order to succeed?
I think the first tip I would give is making sure that you understand the platform. So really understand what Facebook can do, really understand what Twitter can do, and more importantly, understanding where it's appropriate for certain businesses to be using those services. For example, if your client was a B2B service, a business-to-business company, using Facebook is not ordinarily something that you would recommend. So really understanding those platforms is important. I think keeping up to date with the latest technology as well. well. So I subscribe to a number of email newsletters through, say, Mashable, TechCrunch and others, and keeping abreast of those new developments means that you can actually pass that information on to your clients as well. And I think the third, which will probably roll into the next question, is building relationships with other businesses. So going out there and networking, understanding what your unique selling point is and going out and selling it.
Which leads to the next question, which is the one thing you've done which accounts for most of your success.
I think networking. Absolutely, and what networking has done is it's meant that I've been able to build relationships with complementary businesses, for example, a web designer, an SEO engineer, a graphic designer and video production, so that we can offer complete end-to-end digital services for clients, which is exciting, and also building relationships with businesses so that they can refer their clients on as well. So if they've got a relationship with you, they know that someone in their network needs social media services and you're the first person that they think of and will pass your card on. I think the other really important thing about networking is that it hones your pitch and your message. So if you're going to networking events all the time, you're constantly talking about what it is that you do and why people should come to you rather than someone else. And if you've got that very, very clear message and you're practicing that all the time, then it's going to be refined.
What was the training like that you received when starting out with social media business principles?
The training, I have to say, all of the guys up at the head office in Queensland were very, very generous. I had booked all my flights and accommodation and found out I was the only person going, and they said, no, we're still going to run the training. So Mike and Meredith, who was there at the time, were very, very generous with their time. But what was good was they were able to tailor the training to what I needed over the 3 days. I think the training is now 4 days, but when I joined up it was 3. And so we were able to go through the tech stuff in more detail and in more depth. So there were things that I still didn't know about that, for example, Mike knew about. But also we could focus more on the business aspect of it, and I could ask a lot of questions and we could have really good discussions about how I should do things. So I got a lot out of the training, which meant that I could go off and pretty much set up my business and go and do my own thing.
Any good stories to tell about how you changed a client's business using social media?
I think probably there's a couple of stories that I'd probably tell. One is I did a short consultancy gig in an office a few months ago, and what that involved, it was an office that had 4 different social media platforms as well as a website, and they all worked separately and they all worked independently. There was no cross promotion of content, there was no coherent strategy behind it. What I did was made an assessment of all of those online assets, made changes to make them actually look the same, brought them all together in a strategy, and then took the staff through that to show them how they should be engaging with people, how they should be cross-promoting content, and how they should be developing content as well and engaging with their followers. And what's happened is that's meant that there's been a lot of efficiencies realised. There's been less time, ironically, spent on those platforms because you're automating some of those processes and actually bringing them all together, which is good. And it's meant that the social media platforms are working more effectively because they're working together in a coherent strategy, which is really good. Another one of my clients went through a rebranding exercise about 2 months ago, and that was great because it meant we set up a Twitter account for them as well, and we've started them off on Twitter, which is great. And because we did the rebranding exercise, I could actually project manage how those social media platforms worked. So they got a new website, their Facebook page and their Twitter account all now look the same, which is great. So that means that any of their offline marketing channels, online marketing channels, you can identify the brand straight away, which is really good. And because they went through that exercise, I was able to make sure that any of the offline channels also included in them the Facebook page, the Twitter account and the website as well.
Are you enjoying the work that you do for your clients, and why?
Absolutely. I think owning your own business, you have a lot invested in that, and so it's more of an incentive to put more time into your business. Working with my clients, I think, is great because we develop a business-to-business relationship, so it's not the traditional employer-employee relationship. But also the clients that I've been working with come from a variety of industries, and the work that I've been doing with them is varied as well, so even though I might be managing a few different Facebook pages, they're all in different industries, which makes the content different and which makes the approach different as well.
Any advice for candidates looking to join social media Business Booster team?
Obviously, do your homework, I think, is the really important thing to do. Understand that it is an investment in your time, so you do have to make sure that you do have some social media knowledge behind you. I mean, obviously you've got the support of a franchise network, so there's lots of us around who are more than happy to help and give advice where we can. But also just have a bit of fun. That's what this is about. Social media is actually a really fun thing to engage in, and it can be something that is as creative as what you might want to make it to be.